Hey there! Feeling like stress is running the show lately? You're hustling to control every detail, but it's only leaving you drained and stuck. Sound familiar? Welcome to ZenLight 8, where we're flipping the script. In this video, we'll uncover powerful Stoic secrets to let go, find calm, and manifest everything you've been dreaming of without burning out. Ready to unlock the life you truly want? Let's dive in. Let go and find your flow. Picture this. You're standing at the edge of a river, watching the water rush by, carrying leaves and twigs in its current. You want to control where it flows, so you grab a stick and try to redirect the stream. But the harder you push, the more the water resists, splashing back at you, leaving you frustrated and soaked. Now, what if you just set the stick down and let the river do its thing? That's right. Sometimes the real power lies in letting go. Welcome to a journey inspired by Stoic wisdom, where we'll explore how releasing the need to control everything can transform your life. It's not about giving up. It's about trusting the flow and finding peace in the process. Let me take you deeper into this idea, with a fresh perspective that'll spark something new inside you. Imagine you're holding a balloon, gripping the string so tightly your knuckles turn white. You're terrified it'll float away, so you cling harder. But here's the truth. That balloon isn't going anywhere unless you let it rise. Life's a lot like that. When you try to micromanage every moment, your schedule, your relationships, even the outcomes you can't predict, you're squeezing that string so tight you're strangling your own joy. It's exhausting, isn't it? You're not alone in this. So many of us have been there, caught in a cycle of stress and striving, thinking that control is the key to success. But what if I told you that the opposite is true? What if letting go is the secret to unlocking everything you've been chasing? Let's step into a story to bring this to life. Meet Sarah, a single mom and graphic designer who felt like she was juggling flaming torches every day. Between deadlines, school pickups, and trying to keep her apartment from looking like a tornado hit it, she was stretched thin. Sarah prided herself on being in control. She had color-coded calendars, to-do lists longer than a CVS receipt, and a mental checklist that never stopped ticking. But one evening, after missing her daughter's soccer game because of a last-minute client call, she broke down. Sitting on her couch, surrounded by laundry she hadn't folded, she realized something profound. Her need to control everything was controlling her. It was stealing her peace, her presence, and her dreams. That's when Sarah stumbled across a quote from Marcus Aurelius that hit her like a lightning bolt. Accept everything that happens, even if it's different from what you expected. It wasn't about surrendering to chaos. It was about embracing life's unpredictability. She decided to try something radical. She'd let go, just a little, and see what happened. Instead of planning every second, she started carving out moments to breathe. She began writing down her worries each night. Things like, what if I miss this deadline? Or, am I doing enough for my kid? Then, she'd crumple the paper and toss it in the trash. It was like telling her mind, you don't own me anymore. At first, it felt strange, almost reckless. But slowly, something shifted. She wasn't just lighter. She was freer. Here's where it gets exciting. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring or stop working toward your goals. It's about trusting that life has a way of working itself out when you stop fighting it. Think of it like surfing. You can't control the waves, they're gonna come whether you like it or not. But you can learn to ride them, leaning into their rhythm instead of paddling against them. When you do, you don't just stay afloat, you soar. That's what Sarah discovered. By loosening her grip, she found space to focus on what truly mattered: her daughter's laughter, her creative spark, the quiet moments that recharged her soul. And here's the kicker, her work didn't fall apart. In fact, her designs got bolder, her clients raved, and she landed a project she'd only dreamed of. Why? Because she was creating from a place of calm, not chaos. Now, let's make this practical, because I know you're wondering, how do I actually do this? Let's explore 3 simple steps that can help you let go and find your flow, each one designed to spark a little magic in your life. First, try the worry dump. Grab a notebook and spill out every anxious thought clogging your mind. Things like, I'm falling behind at work, or what if this doesn't pan out? Don't judge them, just write. Then, tear out the page, crumple it up, and toss it in the recycling bin. It's a physical act of release, a signal to your brain that these fears don't get to call the shots. I tried this once during a rough patch, and let me tell you, there's something oddly satisfying about watching those worries hit the bottom of the bin. It's like shedding a heavy coat you didn't realize you were wearing. Second, embrace the pause. Life moves fast, and when things go off script, a delayed flight, a heated argument, a plan that flops, it's tempting to react on autopilot. Instead, give yourself permission to stop, just for a moment. Take a deep breath, counting to 4 as you inhale, holding for a beat, then exhaling to 6. It's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system. I remember using this trick during a chaotic day when everything seemed to go wrong. My Wi-Fi crashed mid-meeting, my dog chewed my favorite shoes, you name it. That pause didn't fix everything, but it gave me clarity to tackle one thing at a time instead of spiraling. Try it next time you're stressed, and you'll be amazed at how a few seconds can shift your entire perspective. Third, carve out sacred space for nothing. Yes, nothing. In a world that glorifies hustle, doing nothing feels rebellious, but it's where your best ideas are born. Set aside 15 minutes a day, no phone, no agenda, just you and the moment. Maybe you sit on your porch and watch the clouds drift by, or maybe you sip coffee and let your mind wander. For me, it's putting on a chill playlist and staring out my window, letting thoughts float like dandelion seeds. Those quiet moments aren't empty. They're fertile ground where your dreams take root. Sarah started doing this too, stealing moments between tasks to just be. She'd close her eyes and picture her daughter's smile or imagine a future where she ran her own design studio. Those pauses didn't just recharge her. They rewired her mindset, helping her see possibilities she'd missed before. Now, I want to dig a little deeper into why this works, because there's science and soul behind it. Psychologists like Dr. Rick Hansen talk about how our brains are wired to hold on to stress. It's a survival thing from way back when saber-toothed tigers were a problem. But when you let go, you're rewiring that system, training your mind to focus on what's within your reach instead of what's slipping through your fingers. It's like decluttering your mental attic, making space for clarity and creativity. And from a Stoic lens, this is pure wisdom. Epictetus, another Stoic heavyweight, said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." That's not just philosophy, it's a game changer. Let's be real. Letting go isn't a one-and-done deal. It's a practice like yoga or learning to cook a killer lasagna. Some days you'll nail it. Others you'll catch yourself gripping that balloon string again. And that's okay. The beauty is in the trying, in choosing to trust the flow even when it feels scary. Because here's the truth. When you stop wrestling with life, you start dancing with it. You move lighter, think clearer, and open doors you didn't even know were there. Sarah's story proves it. She didn't just survive. She thrived, not because she controlled more, but because she controlled less. So, my friend, what's one thing you're ready to let go of today? Maybe it's the need to have all the answers or the pressure to be perfect. Whatever it is, take that first step. Write it down, pause, or give yourself a moment of stillness. You'll be amazed at how it feels to breathe a little easier. And as you lean into this practice, you'll notice something else. Your mornings start to feel different too, like the dawn of a new possibility. That's where we're headed next. Setting the tone for a day that flows with purpose and peace. Start your day with purpose. Imagine waking up to a new day. The world's still quiet, sunlight creeping through your window like a gentle invitation. You could leap out of bed, already racing against the clock, or you could pause, just for a moment, and choose to greet the morning with intention. That choice, my friend, is where the magic begins. It's not just about how you wake up. It's about how you set the tone for everything that follows. Inspired by Stoic wisdom, this is your chance to transform your mornings into a launching pad for a life that feels vibrant, purposeful, and truly yours. Let's dive into why your morning matters so much and how you can make it a ritual that shapes your entire day. Think of your day like a blank canvas. The first strokes you paint, those early hours, set the mood, the colors, the energy for everything else. Rush through them, and the whole picture might feel chaotic, like a painting slapped together in a hurry. But take your time, choose your hues with care, and suddenly, you're creating a masterpiece. That's what a purposeful morning does. It tunes your mind and heart like a guitar before a concert, ensuring every note rings true. I've been there myself, stumbling out of bed, checking emails before my eyes were fully open, letting the world dictate my mood. It was like starting a race with one shoe untied, frustrating and bound to trip me up. But when I changed my mornings, everything shifted. Let me share how, and maybe you'll see yourself in this too. A few years back, I was stuck in a rut. My days felt like a treadmill, running hard but going nowhere. One morning, purely by accident, I left my phone in another room and sat with my coffee. No distractions. Instead of scrolling, I closed my eyes and took a few deep breaths, letting the warmth of the mug ground me. I thought about one thing I wanted from the day. Not a big goal, just something small, like, I want to laugh with a friend today. Then, I put on a song that always lifts my spirits. Think upbeat, like walking on sunshine vibes. I won't lie, I danced a little in my pajamas, probably looking ridiculous. But that day, it flowed. A client call went better than expected. I handled a stressful moment with calm. And yeah, I did laugh with a friend. It wasn't luck. It was the morning I'd set in motion. That's the power of starting strong. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, got this long before alarm clocks and coffee makers. He saw mornings as a gift, a fresh slate to align your mind with what matters. He'd write, reflect, and prepare, not to react to the world's chaos, but to shape his response to it. For him, it was like a captain checking the sails before setting out to sea. You don't control the wind, but you can adjust your course, and you can do the same. Your morning doesn't need to be perfect or Instagram-worthy. It just needs to be yours, a space where you decide how you want to show up. So, how do you make this real? Let's break it down with some simple, soulful steps that'll spark joy and clarity. First, before you even touch your phone, because let's be honest, that thing's a vortex, sit still for a moment. Take 3 deep breaths. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. It's like a mini vacation for your nervous system, calming the chatter before it starts. I started doing this after reading about how breathwork resets your stress response, and it's like giving your brain a warm hug. Try it tomorrow and you'll feel the difference, like the world's a little less heavy. Next, find something that lights you up. For me, it's music, maybe a classic like Stevie Wonder or something new that makes me want to move. Put on a song that feels like a high five to your soul, and don't be afraid to sway a little. No one's watching, and even if they are, who cares? You're waking up your energy, shaking off the sleep, and telling the universe, I'm ready for today. If music's not your thing, try something else. Maybe a quick stretch, a favorite quote taped to your mirror, or even savoring your coffee like it's a fine wine. The point is to make your morning feel alive, not just another box to check. Here's another gem. Set a small intention before you dive into your day. It doesn't have to be world-changing. Maybe it's, I'll listen fully in my next conversation, or I'll take a moment to enjoy my lunch. Write it down if you want, or just hold it in your mind like a tiny seed you're planting. This isn't about adding pressure. It's about giving your day a North Star. I remember setting an intention to stay curious during a tough week, and it changed how I approached a tricky work project. Instead of stressing, I asked questions, explored ideas, and ended up with a solution I hadn't seen coming. That's what intention does. It's like a compass for your soul. Now, let's talk about why this works, because there's more than just good vibes here. Science backs it up. Studies, like those from the Journal of Positive Psychology, show that morning rituals boost your mood and focus for hours. It's called priming. You're wiring your brain to expect good things, which makes you more likely to notice them. And from a Stoic perspective, it's about owning your mindset. Seneca didn't have a smartphone pinging him, but he had distractions, political drama, endless duties. Yet he chose to start his day with clarity, knowing it shaped his resilience. You've got that same power, my friend. Every morning is a chance to say, this is who I am today. Of course, it's not always easy. Some mornings you'll oversleep, spill coffee on your shirt, or just feel off. That's life. But even on those days, you can steal a minute to breathe, to choose one small act that feels like you. It's like planting a flag in the ground, claiming your day no matter what. And the more you practice, the more it becomes second nature. You'll start noticing how your days feel smoother, how challenges don't hit as hard, because you've already set the stage for calm and purpose. Let's pause for a second and imagine what your ideal morning could look like. Maybe it's sipping tea on your balcony, journaling about your dreams, or dancing with your kids before school. Whatever it is, it's yours to create. And as you build this habit, you'll find something else shifting, your mind. It's like clearing the fog from a window, letting you see what's possible. That's where we're headed next. Turning your mind into your greatest ally, a tool that doesn't just react to life but shapes it. Now, let's step into the engine room of your life, your mind. It's the most powerful tool you've got. But when it's cluttered with worries, doubts, and noise, it's like trying to drive with a foggy windshield. You can't see where you're going. The good news? You can clear that fog. Inspired by Stoic wisdom and real-world heroes, we're going to explore how to make your mind your best friend, not your biggest obstacle. This isn't about forcing positivity or ignoring problems. It's about organizing your thoughts like pieces of a puzzle, so you can see the big picture and move toward it with clarity. Ready to unlock that power? Let's dive in. Think of your mind as a messy desk, piled high with papers, bills, to-do lists, random post-its with half-formed ideas. You could spend all day digging through it, stressed and overwhelmed, or you could take a moment to sort it out. That's what mental clarity is. Tidying up, not to make everything perfect, but to find what matters. Without it, life feels like a jigsaw puzzle with no box top. You've got all these pieces but no idea how they fit. I've been there, my friend, juggling deadlines, family drama, and that nagging voice asking, "Am I doing this right?" It's exhausting. But when I learned to organize my thoughts, it was like finding a map in the middle of a storm. Let me take you back to a story that changed how I see this. Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger, the pilot who landed a plane on the Hudson River in 2009. Picture this, you're flying a jet with 155 souls on board, and suddenly, both engines die after hitting a flock of birds. The city looms below, the river's your only shot, and you've got seconds to decide. Panic would have been easy, natural even. But Sully didn't panic. He closed his eyes for a split second, took a breath, and focused. His mind wasn't a wildfire of fear. It was a laser, sorting through options, trusting his training, and visualizing the landing. When he said, "Brace for impact," it wasn't just a command. It was a declaration of calm in chaos. And it worked. Everyone survived. Because Sully's mind was his ally, not his enemy. That's what we're aiming for. A mind that doesn't spiral but solves. Epictetus, the Stoic sage, nailed it when he said, "What disturbs us is not what happens, but our thoughts about it." Sully couldn't undo the birds or restart the engines, but he could control his focus. And you can too, whether you're facing a crisis or just a Monday morning that feels like climbing Everest. The trick is to treat your thoughts like puzzle pieces. Don't try to jam them together. Sort them first. Here's how to do it with a practice that's simple but game-changing. Every day, carve out 5 minutes. Call it your mental tidy-up. Sit somewhere quiet, grab a notebook or just your thoughts, and let your worries spill out. Maybe it's "I'm swamped at work," "I snapped at my partner," or "money's tight." Don't judge them. Just name them like labeling files. Then sort them into piles. What can you act on now, what can wait, and what's out of your control? For example, that work project? Yellow pile, start it today. The argument? Orange, call later to talk it out. Bills? Red, set aside for your budgeting session. It's like decluttering your brain. And trust me, it feels like dropping a backpack full of bricks. I tried this during a hectic month when everything felt urgent, work, family, you name it. I'd sit on my couch, jot down what was swirling in my head, and sort it. Do now, do later, let go. At first, I was skeptical. Could a pen and paper really help? But by day 3, I noticed something. My head wasn't so loud anymore. I could focus on one thing at a time, and the overwhelm started to fade. It's not about solving everything. It's about seeing clearly, like wiping smudges off a window. And science agrees, Research from the American Psychological Association shows that organizing thoughts reduces stress and boosts decision-making. It's like giving your brain a GPS instead of a broken compass. Now, let's add a twist to make this even richer. During your tidy-up, ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today? Could be as tiny as sending an email or just forgiving yourself for not being perfect. This isn't about fixing the whole puzzle. It's about placing one piece at a time. I remember sorting my thoughts during a tough week and realizing I could text a friend to clear up a misunderstanding. That one step didn't erase my stress, but it felt like progress, like laying a brick in a wall I was building. And that's what clarity does. It turns chaos into action. Of course, your mind will fight back sometimes. It loves to wander, to replay old mistakes or fast forward to worst-case scenarios. That's normal. The Stoics knew this too. Marcus Aurelius wrote about wrestling with his own thoughts, reminding himself to focus on the present. When your mind gets noisy, gently bring it back, like guiding a puppy to its bed. Try a quick visualization. Picture your worries as leaves floating down a stream. You don't need to grab them, just watch them drift away. I do this when I'm stuck in a worry loop, and it's like hitting pause on a bad movie. Suddenly, there's space to think, to create, to be. Let's talk about why this matters, because it's bigger than just feeling better. A clear mind isn't just calm. It's powerful. It's what lets you spot opportunities, solve problems, and move toward your dreams. Think of Sully again. His clarity saved lives. Yours might not need to be that dramatic, but it could save a relationship, a project, or just your sanity. And the more you practice, the stronger it gets. It's like lifting weights. Each rep builds muscle, until one day you realize you're carrying life's loads with ease. So, my friend, what's cluttering your mind today? Take those 5 minutes, sort the pieces, and see what shifts. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just start. And as you clear that mental desk, you'll notice something else. Your actions start to flow smoother, like a river finding its path. That's where we're going next. Learning to move through life with calm and purpose, turning every task into a step toward what you truly want. Move with calm intention. Life can feel like a race sometimes, can't it? You're sprinting from one task to the next, heart pounding, trying to outrun the clock. But here's the thing about racing. When you're moving that fast, you miss the scenery, trip over roots, and sometimes end up somewhere you didn't mean to go. Now, imagine slowing down, not to a crawl, but to a steady, purposeful stride. You're still moving forward, but with clarity, savoring each step, and actually enjoying the journey. That's what it means to act with calm intention, a principle rooted in Stoic wisdom that can transform how you live. Let's dive into why rushing ruins more than it builds and how embracing a calmer pace can unlock a life that feels rich, meaningful, and aligned with your dreams. Picture yourself in your kitchen hosting a dinner for friends. You're excited to impress them with your famous homemade pizza, but you're running late. In a frenzy, you're tossing dough, chopping veggies like a tornado, and juggling 3 tasks at once. Checking the oven, stirring sauce, answering a text. The result? The dough's uneven, the sauce spills, and you burn the crust because you didn't hear the timer. By the time your friends arrive, you're frazzled, and the pizza's a sad shadow of what you envisioned. Sound familiar? We've all been there, rushing through something we care about and ending up with less than we hoped. It's not just about pizza, it's about life. When you hurry, you don't just mess up tasks. You miss moments, and that's a steeper cost than any burnt crust. Now let's rewind that scene. Same dinner, same pizza plan, but this time you give yourself space. You start earlier, chop the veggies with care, maybe even hum a tune while the dough rises. You taste the sauce, tweak the spices, and slide the pizza into the oven with a smile. When your friends show up, the table's set, the food's perfection, and you're actually present, laughing, connecting, soaking in the night. The difference isn't talent or luck. It's calm. You didn't do more, you did better. That's the secret Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, lived by. He ruled an empire, faced wars and crises, yet he wrote, "Do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life. Not rushed, not frantic, but with focus and heart." He wasn't chasing speed, he was chasing impact. Let's bring this closer to home with a story. Meet Jake, a high school teacher with a passion for coaching his school's debate team. Jake used to be a multitasker extraordinaire, grading papers while answering emails, planning lessons while scrolling social media. He thought it made him efficient, but it left him scattered. His students noticed, his feedback was rushed, his energy drained. One day, after a debate practice where he fumbled his notes and missed a student's breakthrough moment, he hit pause. Inspired by a podcast about mindfulness, he decided to try something new: single tasking. The next practice, he focused only on the team, no phone, no side projects. He listened, coached, and gave each kid his full attention. The result? The team's performance soared, and Jake felt something he hadn't in months: joy in his work. By slowing down, he didn't just teach better, he lived better. That's what calm intention does. It's not about doing less, but doing what matters with your whole self. Rushing is like pouring water into a cracked cup. It leaks everywhere, and you're left empty. But when you move deliberately, you're filling that cup to the brim, letting every drop count. Science backs this up too. Studies from the University of California show that multitasking reduces productivity by up to 40% and spikes stress hormones like cortisol. Your brain isn't built to juggle, it thrives on focus. When you give one task your all, you're not just checking a box, you're crafting something meaningful. So, how do you make this part of your life? Let's explore some practical steps that feel less like rules and more like invitations to thrive. First, before you start any task, take 2 minutes to ground yourself. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6, and ask, what's the one thing I need to do right now? It's like tidying your mental desk, clearing away distractions. I started doing this before writing, and it's like flipping a switch. Suddenly, the words flow because I'm not fighting a dozen other thoughts. Try it next time you're about to tackle something, whether it's a work email or folding laundry. It's a small act with big ripples. Second, pick one task and give it your full heart. Forget multitasking. It's a myth that leaves you half present everywhere. If you're cooking, cook. If you're talking to a friend, listen. If you're working, dive in like it's the only thing in the world. I remember trying this during a busy week, focusing solely on a presentation instead of answering texts mid-slide. Not only did I finish faster, but the work was better, and I felt proud instead of frazzled. It's like planting a seed with care instead of scattering a handful and hoping something grows. Third, embrace your own rhythm. Society loves to glorify hustle. Everyone's posting about grinding 24/7, but that's not a life. It's a hamster wheel. You're not a machine, and you don't need to move at someone else's pace. Marcus Aurelius compared the mind to water. When it's calm, it reflects clearly. Find your flow, whether it's tackling big tasks in the morning or saving creative work for quiet evenings. For me, it's writing at dawn when the world's still. My thoughts feel sharper then. Experiment and discover what feels right for you. It's like dancing to your own beat instead of tripping over someone else's. Of course, slowing down isn't always easy. Life throws curveballs. Deadlines loom, kids need you, emails pile up. But even in the chaos, you can choose calm. If you catch yourself rushing, pause. Take that breath. Remind yourself, I'm doing this one thing, and that's enough. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. And the more you practice, the more natural it feels, like a muscle growing stronger with every rep. Jake learned this too. His debate team didn't just win trophies. They built trust because he showed up fully for them. That's the gift of calm intention. It doesn't just change what you do. It changes how you feel while doing it. Now, imagine a day where every action feels like a choice, not a chase. You're not running out of breath. You're moving with purpose, savoring the little wins, like the taste of your coffee or the smile of someone you helped. That's what happens when you let go of frenzy and embrace focus. And as you move this way, something else blooms. Gratitude. It's like the ground you've prepared with calm becomes fertile for appreciating what's already yours. That's where we're headed next. Opening your eyes to the gifts in your life, right here, right now. The power of gratitude. What if the key to everything you want isn't out there somewhere, but already in your hands? So often, we're chasing the next big thing. A better job, a bigger house, a perfect moment, convinced it'll fix everything. But what if, instead of running, you stopped and looked at what's already yours? That's where gratitude comes in, my friend. Not as a cliché or a chore, but as a quiet revolution that shifts how you see the world. Rooted in Stoic wisdom, gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's about unlocking opportunities, easing stress, and paving the way for a life that feels full, right now. Let's explore why being thankful transforms everything and how you can weave it into your days with heart and purpose. Close your eyes for a second and imagine someone hands you a gift box, promising it holds everything you're missing. You tear it open, heart racing, only to find a mirror inside. First, you're confused, what's this about? Then it hits you. The gift isn't something new. It's the ability to see what you already have with fresh eyes. That's what gratitude does. It's like polishing a dusty lens, revealing beauty you'd overlooked. I used to think gratitude was just saying thanks for the big stuff, landing a job, hitting a milestone. But it's so much more. It's noticing the small, everyday miracles. The way your dog greets you at the door, the warmth of a sunny afternoon, the friend who always knows when you need a call. Let's step into a story to see this in action. Maria, a nurse working long shifts, felt like life was passing her by. Her days were a blur of charts, patience, and exhaustion, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she was falling short of her career, her family, herself. She'd lie awake at night, tallying what she didn't have: time, energy, the dream vacation she'd never taken. One day, during a rare lunch break, she overheard a colleague mention a gratitude journal. Skeptical but desperate for a change, Maria gave it a try. Every Sunday, she'd write 3 things she was thankful for, no matter how small. A patient's kind word, her mom's homemade soup, even the way her old car still got her to work. At first, it felt forced, like a homework assignment. But then, something shifted. As Maria reflected on those moments, she started connecting them to her bigger dreams. That patient's kindness reminded her why she became a nurse: to make a difference. Her mom's soup sparked memories of family dinners she wanted to prioritize. Even her beat-up car symbolized her independence, fueling her goal to save for something new. Gratitude didn't change her circumstances overnight. She still worked long hours, still had bills, but it changed her. She felt lighter, like she'd traded a heavy backpack for wings. Her shifts became less draining because she noticed the good: a coworker's laugh, a moment of teamwork. And when a promotion opened up, she applied, not out of desperation, but with confidence, because gratitude had shown her what she was capable of. That's the magic of gratitude. It's not just a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's a mindset that rewires how you move through the world. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." He and his fellow Stoics practiced giving thanks daily, not because life was perfect, but because they knew it sharpened their focus on what mattered. A sunrise, a loaf of bread, a friend's loyalty. These weren't small to them. They were anchors, grounding them in a chaotic world. And science agrees. Dr. Robert Emmons, a gratitude researcher, found that people who practice thankfulness regularly report less stress, better sleep, and stronger relationships. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the more it lifts you up. So, how do you make gratitude a living, breathing part of your life? Let's try something deeper than the usual advice. Once a week, find a quiet corner. Maybe your bedroom, a park bench, or even your car before you start the engine. Grab a notebook and write down 3 things you're grateful for, but don't stop there. Dig into why they matter and how they tie to your dreams. For example, if you're thankful for a coworker's help, reflect, "This shows I'm part of a team, and that's the kind of leader I want to be." If it's your morning coffee, think, "This ritual grounds me, helping me focus on my goals." I tried this after a tough stretch, writing about my sister's support, a walk in the rain, and even my creaky but cozy apartment. Connecting those to my dream of starting a side hustle made me see I wasn't starting from zero. I had a foundation. Here's another twist. Share your gratitude. Tell someone, a friend, a partner, even a stranger, why you appreciate them. It could be a quick text, like, "Hey, your advice last week really helped me," or a note to a barista saying, Your smile makes my mornings. I did this once, thanking a coworker for her patience, and her grin lit up the room. It wasn't just about her. It reminded me how much good surrounds me. It's like tossing a pebble in a pond. The ripples spread, lifting everyone, including you. Of course, gratitude isn't a cure-all. Some days, life feels heavy, and finding something to be thankful for can seem like searching for a needle in a haystack. That's okay. Even on those days, you might notice one tiny spark, a warm blanket, a kind glance, your own resilience. Start there. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about finding a foothold to climb higher. Maria learned this too. On her worst shifts, she'd think of one thing, like a patient who smiled, and it was enough to keep going. Gratitude doesn't erase pain. It lights a path through it. Now, imagine a life where you see abundance instead of lack. You're not ignoring challenges, you're just not defined by them. That coworker's help, that sunny day, that quiet moment, they're not just nice. They're fuel for your journey. And as you cultivate this habit, you'll find something else growing. The ability to disconnect from the noise around you, to hear your own voice clearly. That's where we're headed next. Creating space to focus on what truly matters, free from the distractions pulling you off course. Disconnect to reconnect. Imagine trying to hear a whisper in the middle of a rock concert. Guitars blaring, crowd roaring, lights flashing. No matter how hard you strain, that soft voice gets drowned out. That's what life feels like sometimes, doesn't it? A constant buzz of notifications, news alerts, and social media updates, all screaming for your attention. It's not just noise. It's a thief, stealing your focus, your peace, and your ability to hear what truly matters, your own heart. But what if you could turn down the volume, just for a moment, and rediscover the quiet where your dreams live? That's what disconnecting is all about, my friend. A Stoic-inspired practice that's less about escaping the world and more about reconnecting with yourself. Let's dive into why stepping away from the chaos is so powerful and how it can open doors to clarity and purpose like never before. Think about the last time you went a whole hour without checking your phone. Tough to recall, right? We're wired to stay plugged in. Every ping feels urgent. Every post demands a scroll. But here's the truth. That digital noise isn't just a distraction. It's a fog, clouding your ability to think deeply or feel fully. It's like trying to paint a masterpiece while someone keeps flicking the lights on and off. You lose your flow. I've been there, mindlessly swiping through feeds, comparing my life to strangers' highlight reels, only to realize I'd lost hours I could have spent on something real. The worst part? It didn't just waste time. It left me feeling emptier, like I was running on fumes. Let's step into a story to bring this to life. Meet Alex, a freelance photographer with a knack for capturing beauty in everyday moments. His days used to be a whirlwind of emails, client texts, and Instagram updates to stay relevant. He'd check his phone first thing in the morning, during lunch, even mid-shoot, afraid he'd miss something crucial. But the more connected he stayed, the less inspired he felt. His photos started feeling flat, his creativity stalled, and he couldn't shake the sense that he was drifting from his passion. One weekend, desperate for a reset, Alex took a leap. He turned off notifications and drove to a nearby forest preserve, leaving his phone in the car. First, his mind raced. What if a client needs me? What's happening online? But as he walked, listening to the crunch of leaves and the hum of the wind, something shifted. The world slowed down, and for the first time in months, he really saw the light filtering through the trees, the way shadows danced on the path. He didn't have his camera, but he didn't need it. That walk wasn't just a break. It was a homecoming to himself. That's what disconnecting does. It's like clearing static from a radio, letting the signal come through crisp and clear. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, understood this centuries ago when he said, "The free man is the one who is not afraid to go to the end of his thoughts." You can't reach that depth when your mind's tangled in a web of alerts and updates. Silence isn't empty. It's fertile, a space where your truest desires can surface. For Alex, that forest walk sparked ideas for a new photo series, one that later won him a local gallery show. But more than that, it reminded him why he loved photography in the first place. Not for likes, but for the joy of capturing life's fleeting beauty. So, how do you carve out this quiet in a world that's always shouting? Let's explore some practical steps that feel like gifts to your soul, not chores. First, try a no-notification day. I know it sounds daunting. Your phone's practically an extension of your hand. But hear me out, you don't have to go cold turkey. Pick a day and set 2 specific times to check messages. Say, 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. The rest of the time, silence those pings. I gave this a shot during a busy week, and let me tell you, it was like turning off a jackhammer. Suddenly, I had space to focus on a project I'd been procrastinating, and I even enjoyed a lunch without staring at a screen. It wasn't just freeing. It was empowering, like reclaiming a piece of myself I'd forgotten. Second, spend time in nature, even if it's just a sliver of it. You don't need a grand wilderness adventure. A park, a backyard, or even a tree-lined street will do. Leave your phone behind, or at least ditch the headphones and let the world speak. Notice the breeze, the birds, the way sunlight hits the grass. I started doing this near my apartment, sitting by a pond for 10 minutes after work. At first, I felt antsy, like I should be doing something. But then I'd hear a frog croak or see a duck glide by, and it was like nature was whispering, "Slow down, you're enough." Those moments didn't just relax me. They sparked ideas, from writing prompts to ways to fix a work problem. Nature's got a rhythm we've forgotten, and it's ready to remind you who you are. Here's another gem. Create tech-free zones in your life. Maybe it's your dining table, no phones during meals, just real talk or even comfortable silence. Or make your bedroom a sanctuary, no screens an hour before bed. I tried this after reading how blue light messes with your brain's ability to wind down, and it's been a game changer. Instead of doom scrolling, I'd read a novel or jot down thoughts, and I'd fall asleep feeling calmer, not wired. These boundaries aren't about cutting tech out, they're about making room for you. It's like building a garden wall, protecting the soil where your dreams grow. Why does this matter so much? Because noise doesn't just distract, it disconnects you from your purpose. Studies, like those from the University of California, Irvine, show it takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after a single interruption. Think about that. Every notification pulls you away from what you're meant to do. And from a Stoic lens, Epictetus reminds us that true freedom comes from mastering your attention. When you choose silence over chaos, you're not just avoiding distractions, you're claiming the space to think, to feel, to create. Alex's gallery show didn't happen because he stayed glued to his phone. It happened because he gave himself permission to listen to his own voice. Of course, disconnecting isn't always smooth sailing. Your brain might itch for a quick scroll, or you'll worry you're missing out. That's normal, our world's built to keep us hooked. But start small. Try 10 minutes in nature, 1 meal without a screen. Notice how it feels to be present, like slipping into a warm bath after a long day. The more you practice, the easier it gets, and the more you'll crave that quiet. For me, it's become a ritual. Those moments by the pond or notification-free mornings are where I find my best ideas, my deepest calm. They're not just breaks. They're bridges back to myself. Imagine a day where you're not pulled in 1,000 directions, where your mind feels like a still lake, reflecting what truly matters. That's the gift of disconnecting. It's not about running from the world, but running toward yourself. And as you create this space, you'll notice something else. You're sleeping better, waking up clearer, ready to tackle your days with energy. That's where we're headed next. Unlocking the power of rest to recharge your body and soul. The gift of rest. What if the secret to living your best life isn't working harder, but resting smarter? We've all heard it. Sleep when you're dead, or hustle never sleeps. But let's be real, when you're running on empty, everything suffers. Your focus fades, your patience frays, and those dreams you're chasing feel further away. Rest isn't a luxury, my friend. It's your superpower, a Stoic-inspired key to unlocking clarity, creativity, and strength. It's not just about crashing into bed after a long day. It's about giving your body and mind the space to rebuild, so you can wake up ready to shine. Let's explore why sleep is your greatest ally and how a simple nighttime ritual can transform your days into something extraordinary. Picture your body as a smartphone. You love it, use it all day, texts, apps, calls, the works. But when that battery hits 10%, things get wonky. Apps lag, the screen dims, and if you don't plug it in, it's lights out. Now think about you. How often are you running at 10%, pushing through exhaustion, hoping you'll make it? I've been there, burning the midnight oil, thinking I could outsmart my body's need for rest. Spoiler, I couldn't. I'd wake up foggy, snap at small things, and feel like my brain was wading through molasses. It wasn't until I started treating rest like a priority, not a reward, that I saw what I'd been missing. Let's bring this to life with a story. Meet Priya, a small business owner who ran a bakery with a smile that lit up the room. Her days started at 4 a.m., kneading dough, serving customers, and ended late with bookkeeping. Sleep was an afterthought. She'd squeeze in 5 hours, fueled by coffee and grit. She told herself, "I'll rest when the business is stable." But the toll crept in. Burnt batches, forgotten orders, and a nagging sense that she was losing her spark. One night, after dropping a tray of cupcakes from sheer exhaustion, Priya hit a wall. A friend suggested a sleep routine, and though she scoffed, "Who has time for that?" she gave it a try. What happened next changed everything. Priya started small. No screens 30 minutes before bed, a quick journal entry about her day, and a few deep breaths. At first, it felt like just another task. But within a week, she was sleeping deeper, waking clearer. Her mornings felt less frantic. She'd catch herself humming while mixing batter, something she hadn't done in years. Her bakery didn't just survive. It thrived. Customers noticed her energy. Her creativity bloomed with new recipes, and she even hired help to ease her load. Rest wasn't a break from her hustle. It was the fuel that made it sustainable. That's what rest does. It's like hitting the reset button on your entire system. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, knew this, even with an empire on his shoulders. He wrote, "Even the soul needs rest to be effective, carving out time to reflect and recharge despite endless demands." For him, rest was strategy, not weakness. It sharpened his mind for the battles ahead. And science backs this up in spades. A study from the University of Rochester found that during sleep, your brain activates a cleaning crew, flushing out toxins that build up during the day. It's like a nightly detox, clearing mental clutter so you can think sharper, feel better, and tackle life with gusto. So, how do you make rest a reality, especially when life feels like a runaway train? Let's craft a nighttime ritual that's simple, soulful, and totally doable. First, cut screens at least 30 minutes before bed. Yes, that means no Netflix binges or late-night TikTok spirals. Blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, messing with your melatonin. Instead, pick up something analog, a book, a magazine, or even a coloring book. I started reading short stories before bed, and it's like slipping into a different world. One that lulls me into calm instead of revving me up. Try it, and you'll notice your eyes soften, your mind ease. Second, write your intentions for tomorrow. This isn't a to-do list. It's a love note to your future self. Jot down 1 or 2 things like, "I'll take a walk at lunch," or "I'll finish that report with focus." It's like planting seeds for a brighter day. I began doing this after a string of scattered mornings. Writing things like, "Be patient with myself." It's not just planning. It's a way to close the day with purpose, letting your mind rest easy. Priya did this too, noting goals like, "Try a new scone flavor," or "Smile at every customer." It gave her sleep a sense of direction, like a compass for her dreams. Third, end with a breathing ritual. Lie down, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6. Do it for 5 minutes, letting each breath melt tension. I started this during a stressful month, picturing my worries drifting away like clouds. It's not woo-woo, it's science. Deep breathing lowers your heart rate, signaling your body it's safe to rest. The first time I tried it, I fell asleep faster than I had in weeks, waking up like I'd been plugged into a charger. It's a small act that feels like a warm embrace, telling your body, "You're done for today." Why does rest matter so much? Because it's the foundation for everything else. Without it, your clarity fades, your patience thins, and your dreams feel like distant stars. A study in the journal Sleep found that even one night of good rest boosts problem-solving by 20%. Imagine what a week could do, or a month. For Priya, rest didn't just save her bakery. It saved her joy, her creativity, her sense of possibility. And from a Stoic lens, it's about honoring yourself. Marcus didn't rule Rome half asleep. He knew his mind needed rest to serve his purpose. You're no different, my friend. Your goals, your loved ones, your life deserve a fully charged you. Of course, rest isn't always easy to prioritize. Late nights tempt you, to-dos pile up, and sometimes your brain just won't shut off. That's okay. Start where you are. A single screen-free evening, a quick journal entry. Even 5 extra minutes of sleep is a win. The key is consistency, like watering a plant daily instead of drowning it once a month. For me, this rituals become sacred. Those quiet moments before bed are where I let go of the day and greet the next one with hope. They're not just prep for sleep, they're prep for living. Imagine waking up feeling like you've been reborn. Clear-headed, steady, ready to chase what matters. That's the gift of rest, not just for your body, but for your soul. And as you recharge this way, you'll find something else shifting. The courage to embrace your missteps, to see them not as failures but as stepping stones. That's where we're headed next. Learning to dance with your imperfections, turning every stumble into a stride toward your dreams. Embrace your stumbles. What if the moments you're most afraid of, the ones where you fall flat, mess up, or miss the mark, are actually the stepping stones to your greatest wins? We've all been taught to dread failure, to see it as a dead end, a sign we're not enough. But let's flip that script. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the foundation of it. Rooted in Stoic wisdom, embracing your stumbles is about seeing every misstep as a lesson, a spark, a chance to grow stronger and wiser. This isn't about brushing off mistakes with a fake smile. It's about diving into them with courage, knowing they're shaping you into someone unstoppable. Let's explore why failure is your friend, and how leaning into it can light the path to everything you're dreaming of. Think of life like a canvas. When you start painting, those first strokes might look like a mess. Colors clash, lines wobble, and you're tempted to scrap it all. But what if you kept going? With every brushstroke, that chaos starts to take shape, turning into something beautiful, unique, yours. Failure's the same way. Those early smudges, the job you didn't get, the project that flopped, the conversation you wish you could redo, they're not the end of your story. They're the beginning, the raw material for your masterpiece. I've been there, staring at my own mistakes, feeling like I'd let everyone down, including myself. But every time I chose to learn instead of hide, I found something new. A skill, a perspective, a fire I didn't know I had. Let's step into a story that proves this point in a way you might not expect. In the 1970s, a scientist named Spencer Silver was working at 3M, trying to invent a super strong glue. Day after day, he mixed formulas, tested samples, and failed. Instead of a tough adhesive, he ended up with something weak, barely sticky, the kind of thing most people would toss in the trash. For years, it sat on a shelf, a quiet reminder of defeat. But Spencer didn't give up. He shared his mistake with colleagues, curious if it could be useful. Enter Art Fry, another 3M worker who loved singing in his church choir. Art was annoyed that his hymnbook bookmarks kept falling out, and one day, it clicked. Spencer's weak glue could make notes that stuck lightly and peeled off cleanly. From that failure came the Post-it note, a tiny invention that's now a staple in offices, homes, and classrooms worldwide. A flop turned into a phenomenon, all because 2 people saw possibility in a mistake. That's the heart of embracing failure. It's not about avoiding it, but about what you do next. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, put it perfectly: it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your stumbles don't define you, your response does. Let's make this personal with another story. Meet Chloe, a graphic designer who dreamed of launching her own brand. Her first big pitch was to a local coffee shop, a chance to design their logo and packaging. She spent weeks perfecting her presentation, pouring her heart into every detail. But when the day came, she froze. Her slides glitched, her words jumbled, and the client passed. Chloe was crushed, convinced she'd blown her shot. For days, she avoided her sketchbook, afraid she wasn't cut out for this. Then, one night, Chloe stumbled across a quote online. "Failure is the raw material, not the barrier." It hit her hard. She revisited her pitch not to wallow, but to learn. She saw where she'd rushed her prep, skimped on tech checks, and let nerves take over. Instead of quitting, she booked a workshop on public speaking, practiced her tech setup, and pitched again, this time to a boutique bakery. Not only did she land the gig, but her confidence grew, and that bakery job led to referrals that kickstarted her business. Chloe's failure wasn't a stop sign. It was a detour, guiding her to a stronger path. So, how do you turn your own stumbles into strengths? Let's explore some practical steps that feel like invitations to grow, not punishments. First, ease up on yourself. We're often our own harshest critics, beating ourselves up for not being perfect. Next time you mess up, pause and say, "This doesn't define me. It's just one moment." I tried this after bombing a work presentation. My slides were a mess, and I felt like crawling under my desk. Instead of spiraling, I told myself, "You learned something today." It didn't erase the embarrassment, but it took the sting out, letting me focus on what to fix. Second, treat every failure like a teacher. Ask yourself, what can I take from this? Write it down if it helps. Maybe you rushed a decision, ignored a gut feeling, or didn't prep enough. After that presentation flop, I jotted down 3 things. Check tech twice, practice out loud, keep it simple. Those notes weren't just a critique, they were a roadmap. I used them for my next talk, and not only did it go smoothly, but I felt proud, like I'd earned that win. It's like panning for gold. Sift through the dirt, and you'll find nuggets that shine. Third, focus on now, not then. It's easy to get stuck replaying mistakes, but the past isn't your prison. It's your classroom. Ask, what can I do today to move forward? Maybe it's trying again, asking for feedback or practicing a skill. Chloe did this. She didn't dwell on her lost pitch. She worked on her craft and pitched anew. I've done it too after a failed attempt at a side hustle. Instead of sulking, I took one step, read a book on entrepreneurship, and it sparked ideas that got me back on track. Every action, no matter how small, is a brick in the bridge to your goals. Why does this matter? Because failure isn't a wall, it's a door. Science supports this. Research from Stanford University shows that a growth mindset, seeing challenges as chances to learn, boosts resilience and success. People who embrace mistakes don't just recover, they thrive. And from a Stoic lens, it's about freedom. Epictetus taught that true power lies in controlling your perspective. You can't undo a failure, but you can choose to see it as fuel. For Chloe, that choice turned a rejection into a career. For you, it could turn a setback into a breakthrough. Of course, embracing failure isn't instant. Some flops sting hard. You might need time to lick your wounds, and that's okay. The key is not staying there. Start small, reflect on one lesson, take one step. The more you practice, the less scary it gets, like learning to ride a bike after a few scrapes. For me, every stumble's taught me something. Patience, preparation, humility. They're not just lessons. They're badges, proof I'm growing. Imagine a life where you're not afraid to try, where every fall makes you bolder. That's the gift of failure. It's not the end, but the spark for something new. And as you learn to dance with your missteps, you'll find yourself dreaming bigger, picturing a future that feels real. That's where we're headed next, bringing those dreams to life with the power of your mind. Visualize and make it real. What if you could step into your dream life right now, not in some far-off future, but in this very moment? Not by magic, but by the power of your own mind. Visualization isn't just daydreaming. It's a Stoic-inspired tool to shape your reality, to feel your goals so vividly they pull you toward them like a magnet. It's about seeing, believing, and acting as if what you want is already yours. This isn't fluffy wishful thinking. It's a practice that rewires your brain, aligns your heart, and sets your feet on the path to making it happen. Let's dive into why imagining your future with clarity is so transformative and how you can turn those visions into reality. one inspired step at a time. Close your eyes and picture a movie theater, the kind with plush seats and the faint smell of popcorn. The lights dim, the screen flickers, and there you are, the star of your own story. It's not just any film. It's your life, exactly as you've always wanted it. Maybe you're standing on a stage, sharing your passion with a crowd. Or you're in a cozy home, surrounded by loved ones, laughter filling the air. Perhaps you're crossing a finish line, sweat on your brow, heart soaring. Every detail's crystal clear. The colors, the sounds, the way your chest swells with pride. Now, here's the question. What's stopping you from directing that movie today? Because, my friend, visualization is your script, and every time you play it in your mind, you're writing the opening scene. I used to think visualization was for other people, the artsy types or those with time to sit and dream. My days were too full, my goals too practical. But then I hit a wall, stuck in a job that drained me, unsure how to break free. One evening, I read about athletes who visualized their races, picturing every stride before they ran. It sparked something. I started small, closing my eyes for 5 minutes, imagining myself running a small business, greeting clients, designing projects, feeling proud. At first, it felt silly, like playing pretend. But the more I did it, the more real it became. I could feel the excitement, the freedom. And here's the wild part. Those visions pushed me to act. I took a course, networked, and within a year, I'd launched my side gig. Visualization didn't just show me the goal, it showed me the way. Let's ground this in a story. Meet Javier, a barista with a dream of opening his own cafe. He'd spend breaks sketching ideas, menus, decor, even the vibe he wanted. But doubt crept in. I don't have the money. What if it fails? His dream felt like a distant star. Then, a coworker introduced him to visualization. Every night, Javier would sit quietly, picturing his cafe in vivid detail. The smell of fresh coffee, the hum of happy customers, the chalkboard sign with his name on it. He'd feel the weight of the keys in his hand, the pride of his first sale. He didn't just see it, he lived it in his mind, letting the emotions soak in. Over time, those visions became a compass. He saved a little each month, took a small business workshop, and networked with local roasters. 2 years later, Javier unlocked the door to his own shop, a place that felt like it had always existed because, in his mind, it had. That's the power of visualization. It's not just seeing, it's believing. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, said, "No wind is favorable for the sailor who doesn't know where he's going." Visualization gives you that destination, a clear port to aim for. And science backs it up. Dr. Joe Dispenza, a neuroscientist, explains that when you vividly imagine something, your brain fires as if it's happening, building neural pathways that prime you for action. It's like rehearsing a play. Each run-through makes the performance stronger. For Javier, every mental visit to his cafe wasn't just a dream. It was practice, building the confidence to make it real. So, how do you bring this into your life? Let's craft a practice that's joyful, not overwhelming. First, carve out 5 minutes a day to visualize your goal. Find a quiet spot, your couch, a park bench, anywhere you feel at ease. Close your eyes and paint the scene. What do you see? Hear? Feel? If your dream's a new career, picture your workspace, the tasks you're doing, the people around you. If it's a stronger relationship, imagine a moment of connection. Maybe a laugh, a hug, a shared glance. Don't just skim the surface, dive in. When I visualized my business, I'd hear the ping of my laptop, smell fresh coffee, feel the buzz of a done deal. Those details made it tangible, like I could reach out and touch it. Second, write your goals as if they've already happened. Grab a notebook and declare it. I'm running my own bakery, greeting customers with my signature scones. Or, I'm healthy and strong, crossing the finish line of my first 5K. Fill it with specifics. What's your day like? How do you feel? I started doing this, writing, I'm a freelance writer, pitching stories I love. It wasn't just words. It was a promise to myself, a blueprint my actions could follow. Javier did it too, scribbling, I own Cafe Soul, serving my community. Those notes weren't wishes, they were anchors pulling him forward. Third, make it relaxing, not a task. This isn't about pressure, it's about joy. Play soft music, light a candle, or sit under a tree. Let it feel like a treat, not a to-do. I love visualizing with lo-fi beats in the background. It's like a soundtrack for my dreams. And don't worry if your mind wanders. That's normal. Gently bring it back, like guiding a kite to the sky. The more you practice, the clearer the picture gets, and the more your actions align with it. It's like tuning an instrument. Each session makes the music sweeter. Why does this matter? Because everything starts in your mind. A study in psychology of sport and exercise found that athletes who visualized their performance improved almost as much as those who physically practiced. Your brain doesn't care if it's real or imagined. It builds the path either way. For Javier, visualization turned a pipe dream into a plan. For you, it could turn a vague hope into a reality. And from a Stoic lens, it's about intention. Seneca didn't just drift. He focused his mind on what he valued. You can too, using visualization to steer your life with purpose. Of course, it's not always easy. Doubt creeps in or life gets busy, and 5 minutes feels like too much. That's okay. Start with 1 minute, one image. Even a quick glimpse of your goal, a smile, a milestone, plants a seed. The key is to feel it, to let it spark joy or courage. For me, visualizing my writing career kept me going through rejections. It wasn't just a dream. It was a fire. Imagine a life where your goals feel close, not distant, where every step feels like it's leading somewhere real. That's the gift of visualization. It's not just seeing the future, it's building it. And as you picture what's possible, you'll find yourself trusting the journey more, believing that every effort is weaving something beautiful. That's where we're headed next. Learning to plant seeds with patience, knowing they'll bloom in time. Trust the unseen. Life can feel like planting a garden sometimes. Can't it? You dig into the soil, carefully place your seeds, water them with hope, and then you wait. Days pass, maybe weeks, and the ground looks the same, bare, quiet, unmoved. You start to wonder, did I do something wrong? Are these seeds even alive? It's tempting to dig them up, to force answers, but here's the secret great gardeners know. Growth happens in the dark, out of sight, long before you see the first green sprout. That's what trusting the unseen is all about, my friend. A Stoic-inspired faith that your efforts, your dreams, your quiet steps forward are weaving something beautiful, even when you can't see it yet. Let's dive into why patience and trust are your greatest allies and how letting go of the need for instant results can lead you to a life that blooms beyond your wildest hopes. Imagine you're hiking a trail you've never walked before. The path twists through dense woods, and there's no sign of the summit. Your legs ache, your map's vague, and doubt creeps in. Am I even going the right way? But then you notice small markers, a carved arrow on a tree, a worn stone. Proof someone's been here, that the path leads somewhere. Life's like that trail. You're pouring your heart into something. A career shift, a relationship, a personal goal, and the results aren't showing yet. It's easy to feel lost, to want to turn back. But every step, every choice to keep going, is a marker guiding you closer to where you're meant to be. Trusting the unseen means believing those steps matter, even when the destination's still hidden. Let's ground this in a story. Meet Lena, a writer who dreamed of publishing a novel. She'd spend evenings after her day job crafting chapters, pouring her soul into characters and plots. She sent her manuscript to dozens of agents, each rejection stinging like a paper cut. Months turned into a year, and doubt became her shadow. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this is a waste. Friends urged her to move on, but Lena couldn't shake the story in her heart. One night, reading about Stoicism, she found a line from Marcus Aurelius that stopped her cold. Nature doesn't rush, yet everything is accomplished. It wasn't just words, it was a lifeline. She decided to trust the unseen, to keep writing not for a contract, but for the love of it. She revised her novel, took online courses, and joined a writer's group, all while reminding herself, I'm doing my part, the rest will come. Then, out of the blue, it did. At a local reading event, Lena shared a chapter, and a small publisher in the audience asked for her manuscript. 6 months later, her book was on shelves. Not a bestseller, but hers, real, alive. Lena's journey wasn't quick or easy, but it was true. Those rejections, those quiet nights at her desk, weren't wasted. They were roots, growing deep, preparing her for the moment she'd shine. Her trust didn't make success certain. It made it possible because she kept showing up, even when the ground looked bare. That's the essence of trusting the unseen. It's not about sitting back and waiting for miracles. It's about doing your part with heart and then letting go, believing the universe is meeting you halfway. Marcus Aurelius lived this, governing Rome through crises, knowing he couldn't control every outcome. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For him, trust was action paired with surrender. Plant the seed, water it, and let nature do the rest. And science echoes this. Studies in psychology, like those from the University of Pennsylvania, show that patience and optimism boost resilience, helping you push through uncertainty without breaking. So, how do you cultivate this trust in your own life? Let's explore some steps that feel like planting seeds, not chasing shadows. First, remind yourself daily, "I'm doing enough." Write it on a sticky note, stick it to your mirror, or say it in the shower, whatever works. It's a shield against doubt, a way to honor your efforts when results feel far off. I started doing this during a tough stretch, whispering "you're enough" while brushing my teeth. It sounds small, but it grounded me, like a hug from my wiser self. Lena did it too, taping "keep going" to her laptop. Those words weren't magic. They were anchors, holding her steady. Second, celebrate the invisible wins. Not every step forward comes with a trophy. Sometimes it's just a lesson learned, a fear faced, a day you didn't give up. Keep a journal and jot down one route each week. Maybe you researched a new skill, had a tough talk, or stuck to a habit. I tried this, noting things like, "I pitched an idea today," or "I stayed calm in traffic." Seeing those entries pile up showed me progress I'd missed, like roots spreading beneath the soil. It's not about the sprout yet. It's about the strength building below. Third, let go of the timeline. We're wired to want results now, thanks instant gratification world, but life doesn't work that way. Practice a simple ritual. When doubt hits, take a deep breath and say, "It's coming in its time." Picture your goal like a seed you've planted, growing at its own pace. I do this when I'm antsy about a project, imagining it as a tree taking root. It doesn't speed things up, but it calms me, like trusting a friend who's always kept their word. Lena leaned into this too, telling herself, "The story will find its home." That patience didn't just keep her sane. It kept her dream alive. Why does this matter? Because trust transforms waiting into building. A study in Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who believe in future rewards, like trusting their efforts will pay off, are happier and more persistent. For Lena, trust turned rejection into revision, doubt into drive. For you, it could turn uncertainty into opportunity. And from a Stoic lens, it's about harmony, aligning with life's rhythm, like a river flowing around rocks. Marcus didn't rush Rome's fate, and you don't need to rush yours. Your seeds are growing even now. Of course, trust isn't blind faith. Some days you'll want to dig up the soil, desperate for proof. That's human. When it happens, return to your markers, those notes, those wins, that breath. Even a moment of trust is enough to keep going. For me, it's been a lifeline, trusting that my work, my love, my steps forward are enough, even when I can't see the summit. Imagine a life where you're not fighting time, but dancing with it, knowing every effort's weaving a future you'll love. That's the gift of trusting the unseen. It's not just hope, it's power, rooting you in the present while reaching for tomorrow. Now, let's step back and see the whole picture we've painted together. It started with letting go, releasing the need to control every ripple in the river of life, finding freedom in trust. From there, you learn to greet each morning with purpose, setting a tone that hums with possibility. You turned your mind into an ally, clearing the clutter to focus on what matters. You moved with calm intention, savoring each step instead of racing past it. You opened your heart to gratitude, seeing the gifts already in your hands. You disconnected from noise, rediscovering your own voice in the quiet. You embraced rest, recharging your soul to shine brighter. You faced failure with courage, turning stumbles into strides. You visualized your dreams, making them real in your mind before your hands. And now you're trusting the unseen, planting seeds with patience, knowing they're growing even when the soil seems still. This isn't just a list of ideas. It's a way of living, a tapestry woven from stoic wisdom and your own resilience. Each thread connects, creating a life that's not about chasing or forcing, but flowing, growing, becoming. You're not just surviving, you're crafting something beautiful moment by moment. Think of Lena, Chloe, Javier, and all the others we've met. Their stories aren't so different from yours. They doubted, stumbled, waited, but they kept going, trusting their path. You can too, my friend. Your life's a garden, and every choice to let go, to rest, to dream, to trust. It's a seed, quietly rooting, ready to bloom. So what's next? Take this spark and carry it forward. You don't need to overhaul everything, just pick one thing. Maybe it's a morning breath, a gratitude note, a moment of silence. Start there and watch how it grows. The Stoics taught us that happiness isn't out there. It's here, in how you choose to live today. Your dreams aren't waiting for a perfect moment. They're waiting for you right now to trust, to act, to be. And when you do, you'll find something incredible. A life that feels like home, no matter where the path leads. In our fast-paced, always-on world, these principles are more vital than ever. We're bombarded with pressure to do more, be more, have more, scrolling feeds that scream success is a race. But you don't need to run yourself ragged. Start your day with a quiet moment, even if it's just sipping coffee without your phone. When stress hits, pause, breathe, let go, focus on one thing. Say thank you for something small. A sunny day, a kind coworker. It shifts your lens. Turn off notifications for an hour. Feel the calm. Nap if you need to. Rest isn't lazy, it's wise. If you fail, smile at it. It's teaching you. Picture your goals at night, vivid and real. And when you doubt, remind yourself, I'm enough, and it's coming. These aren't big moves, they're small, human, doable. They ground you in a world that pulls you apart, helping you live not just for tomorrow, but for today. If this journey sparks something in you, come join us at ZenLight 8 on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and let's keep growing together video by video, step by step. In the comments below, share one word that captures what you're taking from this flow, or pick your own. Breathe, let go, be present, stillness, think deeper, inner peace, just live, mindful, life is now, choose growth. One moment, stay grounded. Know yourself, simple truth, time passes, be aware, silence speaks, perspective, accept change. Let us know you're here, part of this community, ready to live with heart and trust. Until next time, my friend, keep planting your seeds, they're already growing.